I think that his comments are reflective of where he sits, though, in the racial argument.
Willie D. Live.
Now that you've had a chance to see the incident video, now that the arrest footage has been released, you've heard the 911 call. I'd like to get your perspective as a veteran trial attorney. If you had been the lead counsel on this case, what would you have done differently than either side?
I wasn't there, right? So I didn't see the trial, but I'm sure that I've heard everything that y'all have heard and seen everything that y'all have seen, okay? But I'm sure by now everyone has heard that he did not testify. Okay. It can't be too many reasons for that. It's either because they weren't prepared for him to testify, which falls on his attorney, or they thought that there was some bad evidence, that was gonna get presented if he testified. So I'm saying all that to say is I would have had Mr. Anthony ready to testify. I would have had, because it seems that, in going through the police report, there's many things that needed to be further explained. There's many things that need to be further explained. The fact how he says, I think it's on page 2, man. He says, "I'm not alleged, I did it. He put his hands on me. I was protecting myself." You got to understand, in a place like Collin County, there's a cultural disconnect. Okay, he's a black man. He is a black boy. Our culture is different from theirs. They don't really understand how we talk, how we walk. You see what I'm saying? And I don't know how white folks took that. Touch me and see what happens.
Well, they took it as a threat. They said that was a threat. They said that goes towards intention. Premeditated is what some people use, the word that some people use. Do you think that if let's say he did say that, does that create a premeditation argument?
No. If he said that, I would face it right in front of the jury and ask them what he meant by it. And that's the problem. You see what I'm saying, Willie? He didn't even take the stand. So he wasn't able to get up there and say, I wasn't threatening him. I was telling him that if he did something, I was going to protect myself to the fullest of my capabilities. That's all the jury needed to hear him say, instead of letting the jury sit here and go back and discuss what they thought he meant. You understand what I'm saying? And understand, those are just collateral issues. The main issue we needed to test about was the self-defense issue that they tried to get. And, to be quite honest, I was talking to my highly esteemed colleague, Michael Campbell, about this. Even in order to get manslaughter, he probably needed to testify, right? Because for self-defense, you need to testify that you were afraid of serious bodily injury or death. But for manslaughter, you need to tell them you did it because you were angry, right? The jury was not let into the mind of Karmelo Anthony, period. And that was just, so that's my answer to that question. I would have had him ready for all of that.
What do you think? What do you think the chances are that Karmelo Anthony's defense attorneys purposely sold him out?
Look, man, I usually don't get in other attorneys' business. I say that a lot because it's true. But in looking at what happened, I don't know if he did it on purpose. I don't know if he did it on accident, but it's the same result. Either you one of the good old boys, right, which is bad, or you just so incompetent that you didn't know how to prepare yourself, correctly for this trial, and that's bad. So I don't know if he did it on purpose. All I know is I see the result, and I heard what occurred. And back to your last question too. Even Willie, you can't say hit me and see what happens, and I punch you in the face, and I'm right for that. That's assault. You see what I'm saying? So I just want to take it back because people got it wrong. That's a collateral issue. That don't matter if he said, touch me and I'll do something. It don't matter because I can't be on the street, right? Downtown Dallas or downtown Houston, and somebody say something to me and I just punch him in the face. I'm still going to jail for assault. I'm still the aggressor. You see what I'm saying? So verbal provocation is not adequate provocation. I just wanted to, go back on that. Just in case folks was confused.
Another thing is this, man. I hear the police saying all the time, don't move, I'll shoot.
Come on now.
They move and they shoot. And
They claim self defense.
Show me your hands. Don't dig in your pockets. Don't do it. I'm gonna shoot you. I'll shoot you. I'll blow you up. I've heard him say, "I'll blow your motherfucking head off if you do that." You do that. Pow. That's what happened. Was it? Is it Sandra Massey? How do you
And
say?
yep. And next thing you know, they say in the magic words, "I was in imminent fear." Who says imminent fear? That's coach. A
Somebody,
regular person don't talk like that. You
somebody
see?
that's coached.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, Andrew, what do you think it was the single most powerful bit of evidence on both sides?
I think the fact that on the state, let's start with the state side. I think the fact that they were allowed for 21, I think it was 21 witnesses to get up there and all of them to, render an opinion on the ultimate issue. I heard that the last question for all, because I do this. So I heard that the last question for all 21 witnesses was, do you think this was self-defense? Well, I'm hoping Mike Howard objected because
Right.
they shouldn't be saying if it's self-defense in front of the jury, because that is a question that causes for them to make a legal conclusion, and they're not lawyers. So if he objected, that's something that they could take up on appeal. If not, the state might have snuck that one by. But to sneak something by somebody 21 times, again, that either speaks to his incompetence or his involvement. I don't know. I ain't saying which one it is. You see what I'm saying?
I
And
think
go ahead.
I think it's both. I think
It
it's
could
both.
be both.
The reason why I say it's both is because number one, it was just for him not to present that, for him not to object, but only like a one or two times during the entire trial, for him to think he could get away with that shows the incompetence. Like I don't care how smart you think you are, you got to be short bus window licking slow to think that you're gonna be able to present that case in front of the world, and that people ain't gonna see what happened and call that out. And that's
Yeah.
why I do believe, that's one of the reasons why I do believe that Karmelo Anthony was able to assemble such a great appellate team of lawyers, because those lawyers looked at that and was like, nah, man, that ain't right. These lawyers got reputations, just like everybody else. And they got integrity like everybody else. So they like, man, they're not gonna just go put their career on the line for somebody
Right.
who don't think that they can adequately defend. I think that the reason why those lawyers got on board is because they see this case and they see how unfair it was. And I'll just go straight. I call it strike and a ball a ball. I think what those lawyers did was absolutely criminal, and they should be investigated. Also, those 21 witnesses need to be investigated, because I'm sure that some of them perjured themselves. The Eddie guy, are you familiar with him?
The guy that said he didn't know him, is that him?
Yeah, the guy who was identified as as Carmelo's friend, but Carmelo's girlfriend's cousin in some type of loose relationship as a cousin, right? This guy is the one who called Karmelo over to the tent and told,
Right.
invited him to sit down. And then when it went down, he allegedly recorded it. And when the trial happens, he gets on the stand and say, Karmelo wasn't invited. He don't even know who Karmelo was. And they got pictures of him with Karmelo. And he said he didn't even know who Karmelo was. This guy is very sketchy to me. This guy needs to be investigated. This Eddie guy is a primary example of how important it is to pick your friends carefully.
I mean, look, I can tell you for certain that Collin County will coach their witnesses. 2 months prior to this, we got a not guilty out there in Collin County on the murder case. I think it's out of the 290 something court, but we got, 2 months prior to this. And what you have to do is, that's what I'm saying, Willie. I wasn't there. So I don't know the veracity or the tenacity of this man's cross-examination. I don't know if he was letting them slide on certain things or if he was going at their throat. But the reason you don't let nobody go till you finish with them on that stand. I ain't letting you go till I'm finished with you. I'm gonna have a detective up there all morning. If you got to use the bathroom, you might well go ahead and use the bathroom. Come on back, because we gonna be here for a while until I cover all these questions I prepared. You see, so all you got to do, I mean, if you prepared your cross examinations for all 21 witnesses, you've seen what they said before. Them saying something different from what's in their statement, that ain't no excuse. Oh, that's a dream. Oh, I love for me to review all of your statements that you gave, and you come in here and say some more shit. Please do that, because I'm gonna rip you off the bone. So it's just really no excuse for it. And this perjury thing, man, in that murder trial, I told you that I won 2 months prior to that. All white jury, by the way. Um, you know, I got a witness to say that she was lying 3 questions in.
Now,
And
what was the complexion of the participant?
of the defendant or the witness?
The defendant
Black,
and the victim.
black, black. Both of them were black.
Okay.
Both of them were black. So, the prosecutor stands up and says, Judge, I'm sorry, I told her if she tells the truth, she'll be fine. And I'm looking like, well, nigga, she ain't tell the truth. She just told the jury she lied. But my point to you is perjury is when you're charged for lying under oath, right? Mr. Willie D. Who's going to charge him?
Hmm.
You see
Right.
what I'm saying? You think the DA about to charge their own witness with
Right.
perjury after saying what they told? That's the issue with perjury. Perjury is a fallacy.
Yeah.
Perjury is for whoever they say it's for. But if you the DA's star witness and you go say what the DA told you to say in this front little room, you see what I'm saying? He's not finna charge you with perjury. Only way he gonna charge you with perjury is if you go off the island, if you go off the reservation and say something different that hurts his case. But he not finna. So that's a dream. All that perjury talk. You got to know how to control your witness. You got to know what's in your evidence, and you got to prep your cross. Your cross might go left. It's gonna be a fork in the road every 5 minutes with your cross. But you're supposed to be prepared for that. So like I say, it's just no. I can't think of of an excuse, man.
Do you think that Jeff Metcalf, Austin's father, is helping his, I would say, his reputation, his public reputation, by going on these interviews and speaking? Is he helping or hurting his public opinion about him?
Is Jeff Metcalf hurting Jeff Metcalf?
Is he hurting? Is he hurting himself, and is he hurting the case going forward? Because this ain't over. Carmelo
Right.
is appealing this decision by the court, and so this is not over. And what I want to know is, have you seen the racist rant that the dad went on?
Man, I think I saw the first two and then I just ignored them, man. But to answer your question, I think he's hurting his own image. I think that he's a very outlandish and proud person. I don't know what reason he got to be proud, but he acts very proud. He talks too much. He says racial things, you know. I think he's a bad winner. I think he thinks that this is over and he's won. I think he's a bad winner. He one of them folk, after they beat you, they just got to shit talk you. You see what I'm saying? I think that his comments are reflective of where he sits, though, in the racial argument. I think they're very reflective of what side he's sitting on. But I think it helps. I think it helps Carmelo's case.